Contest of Speed Americas. We're here for race 2 at the French Grand Prix, taking advantage of our latest calendar updates. My name is Dan, I will be your commentator this evening, and hopefully to be replaced at some point by someone who's more used to being awake at this hour. Joining me tonight, it's not Two-Spell, he's away jiving somewhere to the classics of ABBA, but I have a very capable and worthy understudy. Pure Blades is alongside me.
Indeed, I wouldn't call myself worthy, but capable certainly.
Well, we'll see how we get on. I'm sure we'll be fine. You did the first America's Tier race with me when we did the practice one 2 weeks ago.
I did. That was my first crack at commentary, so hopefully just gonna keep up. Good record of commentary.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. 3 viewers on the stream already. I need to double check all my little bits and pieces.
Everything seems good.
So we have the undercut as the first man out on track in the Williams. Did a really good qualifying performance last week, but got himself into bother on lap 1. Ended up going out at turn 3, I believe. He was unfortunate, really, because he did look like he had a lot of pace to challenge the two Ferraris of Mitch and Juventus, and the Mercedes pair of Fenrique and Alp.
I can remember it was said that the undercut did have a lot of pace in Australia. So.
I think he qualified 3rd, if I'm not mistaken.
I wasn't in the box last week, but I was watching. So.
He was up there with the lead runners, so we'll see how he gets on tonight. We've got a dry qualifying. Whether we've got a dry race is yet to be seen. We've not had a wet race so far this week. We've had all other manner of weather conditions, but not a wet race.
Obviously the wet qualifying in Tier 2, well, in all the tiers I suppose. Tier 3 just catching it towards the end, and full wet for Tier 1 and Tier 2. So.
See if these guys can buck the trend and swap it round. Give us a nice wet race to commentate on.
A wet race would be lovely.
Certainly would.
Throw us into the unknown. As far as the COS season goes.
Certainly is the case. So, we've got the undercut, the first man on track to be setting a timed lap. He's coming around towards the Sector 2 split through the chicane in the straights. I wish they got rid of that and they just had a massive straight.
Massive straight. Well, they had to do the same at Le Mans.
Yeah, just because people were getting too fast.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
I can remember, I believe a Mercedes took off at Le Mans during one of the tests. So.
Yeah, it did.
Can't remember who was driving that car, but
there's a Mercedes tucked right up behind the Williams of...
It is Fenrique.
Fenrique, yeah. He needs to just give himself some space, to be honest. Otherwise he's going to find himself in some bother.
Wide from the, very wide from the undercut.
Yeah, and that might invalidate his time. Did he's backing right off. And the racing points hit him.
Oh. I believe that's an unfair grid penalty.
I would agree. I think more blame can be laid at Jay's door for that one than the undercut.
That was shocking to see. So at least he did get a time in, I will say that.
He has got a time in. It's not a particularly quick time from what I can gather from there, given that he's almost a second down on Arbar, who's on the medium tyre. But he does have a time in, so anyone else who doesn't, he'll be ahead of those guys. Drama already for America's Tier 1.
You do love to see it.
You do. Let's jump across to one of the Ferraris, Juventus. The two of them going out together. Let's see if they're going to work a toe down the back straight. We'll jump on board with Juventus. Choosing not to tuck in behind Mitch at this stage.
Yeah, I'm not sure Mitch was quite in range for Juventus to get that slipstream. Although the slipstream is massive around here, as it is in Monza next week. So, two very toe-heavy tracks.
Yeah. Morning, KV, our first subscriber. Nice to have you with us.
And I believe the only man who will not start, other than Undercut now, that will not start in his qualifying position is Baker, with that 10-place grid penalty from Australia.
That's right. There might be another one as well. I just can't remember off the top of my head.
I've got the penalty sheet up, and Baker had the 10-place grid penalty for cutting the track during qualifying. And then Bodhard got 5 seconds for an unavoidable collision.
Okay, no others then.
That's the only reprimands from Australia.
Fair enough. The two Ferraris have completed their laps. They've both gone out on the hard tyre and both have set times. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Raidcon in the McLaren, let's jump across to him, has more experience of this track than some of the other guys, as do Arbar and Perry. And Forza Fredo as well. They have raced already once this week in the European tiers. Perry didn't have a good outing in Tier 2 actually, ended up at the back of the grid.
I believe he retired from the race.
He did, yeah.
Sad to see. Obviously Perry's a very quick driver.
I can't say I'm sorry if I'm honest. I mean, I was against the guy. You know. Places gained, points earned.
Rivalry on the track.
Thoroughly nice man, thoroughly good commentator, but when we get on the track, you know, all that's out the window.
Yeah.
So Raidcon just coming down towards the end of Sector 1. Let's see what his first split time is. Cuts the timing beam, 25.2 for Sector 1. I think that's going to put him... Mitch and Juventus have improved on their hard tyres. They've now put themselves up high, so that first lap was a warm-up lap to get those tyres up to temperature, and they've now put in the quick ones and are looking really good up there in P5 and P6.
It's obviously a lot slower than the softer compounds, but Mitch and Juventus just making it work.
1.2 seconds a lap is the difference, I think, between the softs and the hard tyre, unless I'm mistaken. So that immediately would put Mitch and Juventus 4/10 clear of Fenrique at this point.
Indeed.
Back to the man we're riding on board with, and that's Raidcon as he comes across the line to go P4 on the mediums, 31.8 for him. Then we have the Renault of, is that Wing It or Forza Fredo who's just come out of the pits? I think it's Fredo. Indeed it is.
It's Fredo. Very almost dangerous pit lane exit on this track. Can easily cause incidents in qualifying with blocking. Was coming out of the pit straight onto the track. So.
Although you can take control of the car on a much earlier point in the pits, so you can take it slow out and you can run wide as well. But
if you're not looking, that can cause disaster.
Just had confirmation from Mitch that it's dry weather all the way. So
which is a shame for us.
It's a shame on one hand, but it also means that the tyres these guys qualify on is going to be very indicative of the strategy they're going to go for. Let's have a look in the chat, see who we've got in. Matt's in, he says, will anyone go for the 2-stop? I think someone near the back might go for a 2-stop.
Maybe,
but I don't know
Baker.
maybe, yeah, I don't know the characters of these guys enough yet They're only 2 races in, and I've only seen some of them for 3. So as the season progresses, we'll start to get a little bit more of an idea of what these guys are thinking about when it comes to racing and what their strategies are like most weeks. So we'll get more an indication of who might try that one.
And I didn't catch Bodhard going 500th of a second quicker than Raidcon for P4 on the mediums.
That's a good spot. We're on board with Forza Fredo still. He's just started his first lap of the session. Well, his second lap even. Second lap of the session. He's out on the soft tyre, having previously set a time on the mediums.
Interesting, the undercut is still out on the hard tyre, so...
Just putting laps in, getting himself warmed up, I think.
Will he be going for a one-shot qualifying session towards the end?
You never know. Both Ferraris are out again. And they're on the soft tyre this time.
So, as you said, this could prove an advantage.
Could. We'll jump across to Mitch in a minute. The thing is that those guys have obviously gone for the harder tyre selection, having run a lap on the hard tyres already. So, if they want to go for a 2-stop, then they need to nail this lap on one set of soft tyres, because they've only got one. They've only got one other set.
And you don't want to be coming back out on scrub softs for...
no, you don't. Not around here. No. So, let's see who else...
Softs do not last at all.
Let's see, who else have we got in the chat so far? Dominic's here, Cos Superfan. Of course, he's Juventus's relative. They'll be cheering him on all the way. Catio244, welcome, nice to have you. Semnome Pora, welcome to you. Oh, I hope I'm not butchering these names.
No.
Because I have a feeling, that you guys are all supporting Fenrique, and if you're all Brazilian and I'm butchering some Portuguese pronunciation, I'm so sorry. Fidias as well, welcome.
Wing it back out of his lap.
He did, yeah. Let's jump across to Mitch. He's half a second up in Sector 1 on his previous best. So he's currently sitting in P4 if everything else stays the same. But it should be a bit quicker, I think. Coming up to the Sector 2 split now. 9/10 clear, so he's now sat in P1 if he can nail the rest of the lap. Everything now is bonus for him. We'll jump across to Claudio after this. Now Claudio's bailed out. He's gone back into the pits.
Interesting decision. After doing a lap on those softs, so...
Either invalidate... Well, no, he can't have done. He must have just come straight back in. I wonder if these guys are going to split strategies. Mitch is in as well. Mitch is in as well. Maybe they're going to look to go long on those hard tyres. We'll wait and see.
I believe Claudio's just gone back out. Not sure.
No, he's still
coming out of the pit garage.
He's still in the garage, I think.
Well, maybe it was a Mercedes disappearing.
I think it was. Fenrique's on his outlap. Just coming through Sector 3.
And I can hear the other Mercedes of Alp getting ready in the garage.
Oh, so. The protagonists of this championship getting ready to rock and roll for one final run. Dominic, to answer your question, how did Mitch do in his European race? He got P4. So it was Alatakir who won, and it was Fruitful, Coates in second place, and Raikkonen got third, and I'm certain Mitch got fourth.
I believe he did, yeah. Very impressive start to the European season for Mitch.
Yeah, considering he said he wasn't going to be anywhere near, but he's doing alright.
Up there with the likes of Al. Al, obviously. Nearly called him Al.
I mean, Al's in...
Right on board with Al. So.
Yeah. So I'm still with Fenrique.
In a class of his own.
Yeah,
so.
he is. I mean, hopefully we've got a couple of guys who might be able to challenge him now.
It's like Cookie said in the chat, he's just such a cool driver.
He is. Well, I mean, he does have a bit of an advantage racing in European Formula 3 like he does. Well, Italian Formula 3, I should say.
Very lucky to have him in the league.
We are. He is a great talent, and he is the benchmark we all aspire to beat. Fenrique looks like he's spooling up for another run. He bailed out of that first lap.
Alp is back out on the mediums, so... out on his first set of mediums, should I say.
Okay.
Just saying his first lap on the hard tyre.
So Alp's going for a one-stop medium to hard or a medium to soft then, by the look of things. He's only going to get one run.
Do the medium to soft this week. Sygate in the tier 3 race, and
we've got a lot of guys coming out on the medium tyre as well. A lot of them.
Yeah. Seems like from Mitch all the way down to DTM, we're going to try this one-stop soft to hard strategy.
They'll be hoping to improve their times. Arbar is out on the soft, so he's going to go for a run for pole. Fenrique has bailed out of his lap. He must have invalidated somewhere.
Well, that will be his final time, and that will be the benchmark.
He might get round again.
Where is he?
He's just coming up to the Sector 2 split, so I think he will. I think he'll get one more run at it if he really wants one. Who else is on
early pit stop for Fenrique then?
It will, but if he pushes early, gets himself onto the hard tyre, that's not going to be unheard of.
Alp stealing some slipstream from DTM.
6/10 coming across the split. Needs to be careful of that Renault of Forza Fredo in front, who gets out of the way dutifully. She's looking tidy from Alp. The undercut's retired, that'll be in the pits. Not enough time to complete another lap. Here comes Alp.
Alp is coming to cut the beam.
Goes P4 on the mediums, currently the lead runner. Let's jump back across.
From Alp on the mediums, just Fenrique. Back off his teammate.
Fenrique is leaving that lap where it is. Or is he? No, I think he's going for it still.
I was going to say, I wonder if Fenrique thinks that's good enough for pole. So at that time very early.
He did.
So.
I think he got a little bit out of shape coming down towards the chicane, but I think he's held it. Got a racing point.
Mitch is just behind him.
Fenrique is way down on his time, so we'll jump across to Mitch, who is, as you say, just behind the lead Ferrari. Didn't see his sector time, so I don't know how far up or down he is at the moment. Him and Juventus both on the cusp at the moment. Realistically, Mitch will want to be ahead of Alp.
Both drivers very quick, as we've seen from Australia and Mitch in his Tier 1 races. So.
He drives for the line. And he gets ahead. And then Juventus beats him by half a tenth. Both Ferraris on the mediums split the soft runners.
And I do wonder, is Juventus' advantage, did that come from Mitch towing him down the back straight?
Might well have been.
Juventus was just behind.
It might well have been. So, as we're waiting for Alp, who is the final man, to get back into the pit lane, let's run through the order as it stands. We've got Fenrique on pole position with a time of 1:31.218 in the Mercedes on the soft tyre. DK88 Amp went under the radar, great lap from him, only a couple of hundredths back. Then Juventus and Mitch in the Ferraris, 3rd and 4th on the medium tyre. They're in a very strong position for this race. Arbar in P5 could be a dark horse, depending on what strategy he goes for. Alp as well in P6 will definitely be a contender for the win, assuming he can get a clean start and close up to those Ferraris. Bodhod P7, great result for him in the Toro Rosso. Raidcorn P8, Wingit P9 and Grugrox King at P10. Those guys will start on the tyre compound you can see to the centre right of your screen. Big Slater, DTN 694, LSF1 Baker, Big J Jig Burn, the Undercut, Forza Fredo and Perry will all start on whatever tyre they like.
Now, I do wonder why, I just caught it at the end, why didn't Perry come out and set a time?
I don't know. I wonder if he's not quite ready, because he was in a rush to get back for this race, so I wonder if he's just jumped into qualifying to make sure he's in, and then he's gone to do whatever he needs to do before the race.
Well, he will start P15 after
He
all
will.
the penalties have been applied. So.
Well, while these guys sit and do their tyre strategies and fuel loads, etc., I'm going to try a new feature that we've got since we became partners with Twitch. I'm going to run an ad, everybody. We will see you in 30 seconds.
Oh, look at you.
Oh.
Didn't expect that from Perry. But as you say, maybe.
Yeah.
Shame, really, because again, he's quick.
He is.
I didn't quite catch it, but I believe it was the undercut. Who'll be taking a penalty. Or a penalty point.
It was. It was, yeah.
So. You're back now.
Okay, we're back. So let's have a look, see what tyre compounds the guys outside the top 10 have gone for. So we've got Big Slater going on the hard tyre, same for Forza Fredo, Undercut and Baker, both Williams on the hard tyres at the back of the grid, so we'll expect to see them go long. You've got Perry on the soft tyre, going to be looking to make up some ground early on. Perry, I think, might go for the 2-stop from this position.
Perry is still on the grid.
Is he?
Perry is still on the grid. I'm just seeing there on the broadcast camera. So
we've got a stalled Toro Rosso on a stalled Red Bull even on the grid. He is still sat there.
Yellow flag. Oh, is that green flag? Yeah, green flag. Waving.
And then we've got.
He's not back yet.
He needs to get back before those guys make it around to the end of their formation lap, or there will be some issues for him.
Cold tyres aren't going to help him around here.
No, they're not. Although they are the soft ones, so they'll heat up pretty quickly. Yeah. Just to complete the tyre rundown, you've got DTN and JJ Byrne on the medium tyres at the start of the race. So strategy-wise, I would expect all the medium guys to go to around lap 15, somewhere in there, maybe plus or minus 1 or 2 laps, and then go to the hard tyre to the finish.
I believe the earliest people have pitted from mediums this week was lap 12.
Yeah, so 12 to 18 maybe. Well, if there's no point going that far, is there?
It was Jacob pitted on lap 8, but he was on a backward strategy, so I've no idea. He went medium, soft medium, so. Yeah,
well, we'll see how this one plays out. Soft guys we're expecting in around lap 5 to 6. For the hard tyres, if they're going for the mediums, probably lap 10. But we'll see how we get on. We'll see if Perry's made it in after all of this, as we get ready for lights out. 3, 4, 5 lights. Away we go for the French Grand Prix. Fenrique gets a good start, but not as good as DK88, who takes the lead. Both Ferraris holding station, looking to get in each other's way. Mitch drops up behind Arbar, but apart from that, all looks well.
Oh, it's Raidcon.
We've got Raidcon round, and Forza Fredo's dropping.
JG Byrne did drop a few places.
We've got
Harry
someone
taking out the marker board.
Yeah, we've got front wing damage on Grugrok's King. Raidcon, I'm assuming will have wing damage as well. We'll see as they come past here.
Harry has a right end plate off as well.
Yeah,
so.
we could have a lot of guys in the pits early on, although the hard tyre might make it from here if they look after it. Meanwhile, back up at the front, we've missed it, but Juventus has taken the lead. He's managed to get past the Mercedes of Fenrique and the McLaren of DK, who is struggling actually, under pressure from Arbar now, so Juventus can control the pace of this race. He puts it where he wants to. There's an end plate that's just gone somewhere. I think that's a Mercedes end plate.
It is, it's Fenrique's end plate.
Fenrique's end plate. So Mitch now needs to close up and get past the McLaren and the Alpha to keep in touch with his teammate, or Juventus is in a strong position to run away with this one. The soft runners.
Nicest re-entry onto the track from Fenrique, if I'm honest.
Well, we'll see in box now. Indeed, he does. He might try a two-stop from here if he goes for mediums, but he's fortunate that it happened relatively late on in the lap, and he's somewhere near the front when it did. So I think we might see a move from Mitch down the back straight here on DK. Let's ride on board through the remnants of Sector 1 and the start of Sector 2. Much tighter line from Mitch.
Fenrique back on the soft tyre. Harry on to the medium, so both two stopping from here.
Both two stopping. Mitch in the tow, closes in on DK. ERS to overtake, pulls to the inside if he's got the room. Yep. Move made by Mitch up to third. A prediction of a Ferrari double podium is still on. I say still on, it's only lap 2. It's lap 2,
yeah.
Still on.
Well, nobody's crashed yet, so.
Oh, that's a commentator's curse if I've ever heard one. The undercut makes a move on Bodhod. The undercut, great start from him. Started P16, currently in P8 on the hard tyre. Keep an eye out for him later in the race. Let's have a look at position change graphics. The big winners are the undercut +8, DTN +5. Big losers out of that. Fenrique down 15, of course, but he has made his pit stop. He doesn't necessarily have to stop again, although he will do on those tyres. And Raidcon as well, but Raidcon's only down 5. He's kept going. Only guys to have stopped.
Raidcon have wing damage? Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So.
Alp and DK fighting for position up there. And Alp's got through, so now he can start to close down Mitch. But let's see if there's a tactical game at play. Sorry, go on, mate.
Did have a word with Mitch in the commentary box for Tier 2. He didn't say he was that confident around France, but obviously that P4 yesterday in the Tier 1 race.
It's just giving him that boost he needs, although Arbar closing in on Juventus now with the DRS. We've got 3 wide coming into the chicane with Wing It, DK and Alp. Let's jump back up to the battle for the lead. Arbar versus Juventus. Both Canadian. And both in European Tier 2 last season. Arbar still in European Tier 2. He has raced already this week. Juventus would have loved to have stayed and we'd have loved to have had him, but sadly... do you know, he's been quite selfish. He's gone to university. Of all places.
Oh no.
Where's the commitment?
Us getting blessed by Juventus in European Tier 2. He goes to university.
He does. Mitch with the fastest lap of the race, 1:35.160.
I did notice Perry boxed again for the hard tyre, so he'll want to go to the end now.
He will, although why he didn't do that at the first stop, I'll never know. He's only done one lap on those tyres. Let's see, what's Arbar's exit like? It's not great compared to Juventus's exit, but we'll see. DRS is open, and this could be a change of leader. He's having a look, not quite enough. He's going to try and push up towards turn 10 though. Juventus defends the inside. Although we saw in the Tier 3 race,
make a couple of moves.
Yeah, KV around the outside of turn 10 in the EU Tier 3 race. So I think Arbar's going to try now. He's going to try the switch back on Juventus into 11.
Oh,
it's held
dangerous.
around the outside, and then he'll squeeze and hold the inside line, but that becomes the outside for turn 13. Arbar's forced wide. Great respect between the two. He tucks in behind. Will have DRS down the main straight, but he's used up a lot of his battery in the pursuit of Juventus and trying to get that move done earlier in the lap. Arbar currently under fueled as well, or he's on the bubble for fuel. Big cut there from Arbar that corner.
Should be a warning. No doubt about that.
Almost certainly will be, but it's lost him all the ground he gained in that last lap to Juventus. He's still in DRS range. He doesn't need to worry about that, but it's put him a lap behind, and it's burnt a lot of his ERS in the process.
If Arbar wants to just sit in DRS range, just hold the DRS to Juventus, then you can just leave it in 0 ERS most of the time. As in a few practice races, Stumpy was just sat behind KV, no ERS, just using the DRS advantage to stay with him, and then made the move when his battery had recharged. So
that's the one. The undercut has made a move on DK. DK falling back down the grid. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him in this time around. 5 laps is about where I'd want to go on the softs tyres if I was going to go to the hards and try and get to the end.
During practice races, the softs already up at 60% on the 5th lap.
DK's carrying on though.
DK's staying out, yeah.
He's going to be under pressure from Bodhod into turn 1 if he's not careful. In fact, I would expect this move to be done. Although DK has DRS as well, but he's not tucked in behind the undercut. That allows Bodhod to get alongside and make the move stick on the inside of turn 1. But you can see the ground that DK's losing all to Bodhod in front. He needed to stop last time around if he was going to be in with a chance of making that strategy work, I feel. He's just gone one too far. And that could...
Grut's king in, and it will be a wing change as well, so...
He got speeding penalty as well, so there's another 5 seconds to add to his finish time. Once he gets there, Arbar closes up to Juventus again under DRS conditions, but not close enough to pass. Juventus has a really quick third sector where he just pulls out about half a second over Arbar, and it's
just see Juventus just jump up. Be 7 tenths away.
Well, that could be the dirty air coming off the back of the Ferrari affecting the Alfa's aero. These high-speed corners, obviously, it has a much more profound effect. And man on the move at the minute. Bodhod closing on the back of the undercut. We know the undercut's on the harder compound, but Bodhod had originally dropped down behind him.
DK all the way back to 10th now, staying out again. So
I think if DK stays out next time around as well, then he has to be going for mediums, in which case he's going to go to what, around lap 11?
Lap 11, lap lap 10-11 is the sort of cut-off point for mediums. I believe that was Sygate's reverse strategy. Mediums on lap 19.
Yeah, and it's... I don't see the point. I don't see the point going soft to medium. Medium to soft, yeah, I can understand that. But soft to medium, it's not worth the hassle. Arba much closer.
Going to retire here.
Arba much closer this time around. He's going from around the outside of Juventus into chicane. It becomes the inside. Juventus might have the traction to keep the position, and he will squeeze. Arba's giving it everything. He's going to have the inside of turn 10, and if I'm Juventus, I'm just going to give that one up. But Claudio doesn't know the meaning of give up. He fought it all the way, but Arba had the position sewn up on the exit of turn 9.
Now I'm just wondering, if you look at Perry, and look what tyre he's on, I have no idea what Perry's doing.
Neither do I. Shall we go and have a look?
Because he did have a wing change just there. I saw him jump into the pits, so I went on board with him, and he did get a wing change, so...
Do you think he's trying to do the thing where you use all 5 tyre compounds and finish the race? Just for shits and giggles?
I think maybe he is, and there he goes! Manages to save it.
But he needs to be careful, the leaders are fast approaching, although we'll see a new online feature in action, with any luck, of the car that is being lapped ghosting. So it's fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, Perry's undoubtedly going to get caught because those inters aren't going to do anything for him. So,
no.
They'll probably get caught before the end of the lap. Indeed, Arba is approaching, so...
Juventus just tucks in behind the Alfa Romeo. Mitch and Alp at the moment just holding station, not wanting to get involved just yet, leaving the fight into the 2 up front. DTN we can see in P6 closing in on the back of Wingit. And then Bodhard has managed to get past the undercut. We missed that one, but he has got through.
He's just getting out of the way, and he is ghosting, so...
Excellent, let's have a look at that.
I think that's unfair, but...
yeah, he can have that take. I don't know why he would, to be honest, because I have a feeling we might see him retire before the end of this race, but he can have that taken off, should he want it.
And he's not come in for wet tyres yet, so... I can't...
DK's in. So. He's in. Let's see what he goes to. So 8 laps completed. Was that Arba just picked up a 3-second penalty? Can you check that?
I will check that. He did have 2 warnings.
DK is... Alright, so that puts the battle for the lead back into the clutches of the Ferraris. And DK is in for the hard tyre.
And I can't see why he stayed out that long only to go onto the hard tyre, which could have made it from lap 5.
Agreed. Fenrique is in for the hard tyre as well. It's a good recovery, to be fair, for Fenrique. Yeah. That he's still. I mean, if we look at the gap in front of him, he's 20 seconds behind DK, which, alright, fair enough. But then Fenrique is a quick driver. I would imagine he's gonna gain 5 or 6 seconds before those medium runners pit. In which case, it's going to be right up there with some of the likes of Raid Con, with Forza Fredo when he comes in. I know he's on the hard tyre, but still, maybe even Bodhard if he has a poor end to his stint. I mean, it's not the end of the world for him. Perry, meanwhile, is very close to getting disqualified for having 30 seconds worth of penalties.
And it's from going off the track to avoid people, I believe, so... Even though he doesn't have to.
DTN having a look down the inside of Wing It into turn 1. And Raycon speeding in the pit lane.
These people are struggling to understand where the pit limiter line is.
It is a weird pit lane though, because it's a different pit
it's been
lane.
changed from last year.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these guys won't have practiced it.
Perry doesn't have a front wing, so
DTN really feeling the effects of the dirty air off the back of the Renault, and it's lost him a lot of ground. Hopefully the DRS will be able to claw that back for him. And in the background, Big Slater going for a move on the undercut. The undercut holds his position. Both those guys on the hard tyre. They're the leading hard runners by some way to Baker as well.
Slater did say he did want to get on the podium today because he wanted a chat with me. So we talked last night, and yeah, it'd be nice to see him on the podium. He is a quick driver.
He is. He is. He's proven that to be able to get in here. Perry now is on the wets.
He's on the
everybody,
wets.
so...
Are we at the same venue as this race?
I don't know. Be still in Tier 2 qualifying, I'm not sure. Which in a little bit of a quiet patch, we're going to stay on board with the battle for P8 between Slater and the undercut. These guys on the hard tyres now starting to close in on the medium runners.
And Fredo's in, so...
Just check that for me, make sure...
Probably going to be mediums going on.
It will be mediums from here. Is he having a wing change as well?
Yep, new wing going on.
New wing going on the Renault. But he will be quicker than everyone else on track right now, so he should be fast
ahead of the McLaren of Raidcon.
He should do. Not by much, but he should. No, Raidcon's through. DTN has made it past Wingit, but got really poor exit from turn 9, so Wingit might be able to have a chance around the outside of turn 10, but he's thought better of it and tucked in behind. And we've got... Oh, it's Perry. I was going to say we've got someone spinning. It's Perry. Never mind.
He was drifted. It was impressive.
It certainly was. For anybody watching who's never been with Contest of Speed before, and I know that there are 11 of you watching right now, some of you I would imagine haven't been here before. And Perry is... Arbar's in from the lead, so is Juventus.
Well Claudio. Yeah, so.
Right. Alp is in as well. Mitch going long. So he will take the lead. And he's pushing hard. He's in the overtake mode. He's going to try and get the overcut. Mitch, we know, is brilliant on his tyres, so he might be able to pull that off. The only other option maybe is that Mitch is going to go along and then go to the soft tyres near the end.
Soft tyres, yeah.
However, Mitch is in the battle for the championship this season. And
we'll have an advantage as well, so... Sorry for cutting you off there, mate, but...
No, feel free. I mean, if we check the gap to the leader now, Juventus 22.5 seconds behind, Arbar 20.5 seconds behind Mitch. So at the moment he's coming out between Juventus and Alp, which is where he'll want to be. That's where he was to begin with.
And I believe if that happens, could see some team games going on.
He certainly could. Have we got Wing It round? I think Wingit had a moment into turn 9 going up against Bodhod, but that's allowed the two hard runners of the undercut and Slater through. Just jumping back to Mitch though, let's see if he boxes. So we'll see at the next corner whether he's going to come in or not. And once we find that out, he is. Mitch is coming in, so that's going to be the hard tyre for Mitch. Oh, 5 seconds for Mitch! That's unheard of, Mitch getting a penalty.
The man who never gets penalties.
He's got one. Bodhod as well has one. So, you keep an eye on Mitch. I'm going to jump to Juventus, who's the man he'll be trying to get just in behind. He's being held up by Baker at the moment. He needs to clear the Williams. Where's Mitch? Still coming down the pit lane. Just gets out of the limiter and tucks in behind his teammate, and he's ahead of Alp, crucially.
Crucially ahead of Alp. So, with that 5-second penalty, I believe team games could come into effect here.
They might do. We'll have to wait and see. There's still 14 laps to go. Mitch needs to clear this Williams of Baker pretty quickly, and I'm sure he will. In fact, Baker lets him through. I'm sorry, everybody, if you catch me yawning. It is 2:45 in the morning for me right now.
But I am fine. So.
You're fine. You've had 40 winks before we came on air.
Crucially.
But with that in mind, whilst we're on topic, if any of you are based in a time zone that would be suitable to stream these races for these guys, or if you know someone who is, or even if you're in the same time zone as me but just happen to be a night owl and are awake at this time of night every Thursday or Friday morning, we want to hear from you if you want to stream for us, because with the best will in the world, I do have a job to go to in the morning, and I can't do this every week as much as I love to commentate on these races. So if you know someone who does want to commentate, or if you yourself want to commentate, get in touch with us. That's cosf1league@gmail.com, or you can find us on Twitter at cos_f1. Do you like me plugging?
I do. It was a very convincing plug, though.
Cheers, mate. Blue Shadow, I'm not. There you go. You're on it. You see in the chat. There you go.
cosf1league@gmail.com.
There you go. There'll be some buttons as well on the Twitch channel that you can follow to find our website with all the links and things on it as well. Blue Shadow, I can't work out who that is.
It's Freddie Mercury.
Is it Big Freddie? I'm not sure.
I think it might be Freddie Mercury.
It might be Freddie Mercury.
I do like your ASCII art, though. It's a very nice copy paste stuff.
That is good. So, battle's on track at the moment. Mitch within touching distance of Juventus. However, with that 5-second penalty, I think you're right. I think Mitch will sit behind and hold up Alp to allow Juventus to try and battle for the lead. Baker is pitting in from his stint on the hard tyre. Alp with the fastest lap of the race, closing in on the Ferraris. He's 2 seconds back at the moment from Mitch.
There you go. Got a response to your advert from Dom.
When we get enough of it, we might take you up on that. So don't count your chickens. Got a change of leader. The undercut goes down the inside into turn 8 and 9 on Big Slater. Those guys, I think, will probably be stopping around now.
Harry's in again, so...
He's gone for mediums this time.
I imagine he'll be going to the end. He was just on the hard tyre, so... And he's dropped back to 2 laps back of Jay.
It just, you know... The boy has patience.
What goes through that man's head?
Big Slater's managed to get back past the undercut, as we saw on stream, and Mitch and Juventus are now working together, both of them coming at the pitch, and the undercut goes for an unorthodox move on the pit entry. I like that. That was reminiscent of Vettel in China. Do you remember where he went round Hamilton?
Just went round Hamilton, yeah.
Smart thinking from the undercut, perfectly legal, no penalties invoked. Let's see if it makes the difference at the stops. The Williams crew got to work, and he's out ahead of the Racing Point. He's leapfrogged him in the pits.
Oh, what a beautiful move that is from the undercut.
Great work from the undercut. It's what we like to see.
And do you know what? I missed it.
It's alright, it's on stream, you'll be able to watch it back later. As can all of you. If you end up missing the stream, you can watch it back on our YouTube channel. There should be a button for that somewhere on our Twitch homepage. If not, it is youtube.com/contest of speed.
It's Dr. Disrespect, it's not Freddie Mercury. We're idiots.
We're idiots. Hey, I'm going off you here, I'm an old man. I don't know what the young people do. Bodhard and DTN, the Toro Rosso swapping positions. Big Slater gets back past the undercut. Those two looking like they're going to have a fair old ding-dong for the rest of this race. Is the undercut going to have a look back into turn 10? Go on, try it up the inside. He's going for it into turn 10 and he takes it back.
I'm going to watch this battle.
Yeah, you keep an eye on those two. Meanwhile, I'm going to jump to the battle for the lead. Both Ferraris are now within touching distance of Arbar's Alfa Romeo. Although Mitch, of course, needs to get 2 seconds clear of him in order to avoid losing the place to the penalty. Juventus can sit where he is. He's penalty free at the moment.
I will have a look at all the penalty situation.
Go for it.
Juventus with 2 warnings, so needs to keep it clean. Alp with 2 warnings also. Bodhard littered with penalties behind, so...
Oh, well, Lucas, I say I'm old. I'm 23. But with some of the guys we've got in this league, I feel a very old man compared to most of them. No, not you. Not you. As much as I am older than you, but no.
Really?
Just about, yeah.
He's younger than me.
DTN and Bodhard again, swap positions. Toro Rosso's having a nice little fight, but they need to watch out for Big Slater and the undercut. Those two are going to be on the move, and will be looking to get ahead of both Toro Rossos to take 5th and 6th respectively, and maybe even push on to try and get to the back of Alp, who's not really...
the undercut's done it again. He's done it again up the inside of turn 10.
And then you watch Big Slater getting back probably in turn 1. These two having a great fight.
To the back of the Williams.
Fenrique and Fredo have just... And Fredo's in the wall. Forza Fredo is in the wall at turn 9 after Fenrique went for an overtaking move.
Oh, the undercut getting very close to Bodhard. He will have DRS now to attack down the back straight.
He will, but both of them have it. Bodhard holds the inside and squeezes wide, as he's entitled to do. The undercut takes it though, takes it into turn 2. And Big Slater gets a penalty. That could hurt them in that fight they're in. He's also now stuck behind the Toro Rosso until the end of this complex of corners.
And this will be a DRS train behind DTN.
Well, he's going to be a sitting duck for the undercut, and maybe even for his teammate. Big Slater might get a triple toe here if he plays his cards right. All over the back of Bodhard, who's holding him up a little bit. DTN moves across to try and cut the toe. I think it's going to do just enough to hold the undercut back for one more time around. A little bit of contact between the two. DTN holds himself in position. Mitch and Juventus have swapped positions. The two Ferraris, probably so Mitch can have an attack at Arbar and try and get clear. And Fenrique has left the session. He's in the pits. He's not retired, he's just left, which is a penalty because his car will now...
isn't even in the pits. He's going round turn 4.
It says his car's in the pits for me, but... Fair enough.
I'm on board with him going round turn 4.
Well.
And now he's just stopped. So.
Fair enough. Maybe he did. Maybe he's just come out of the pits on the soft tyre though. That is for certain.
On my stream, we'll have to see on my stream. People are passing him at turn 5. So.
Well, we'll see. I'm just coming round with the leaders now. And Alp has now turned up the wick. He's starting to close in on the guys in front. Yeah, I've just seen that stricken Mercedes, and that does look like a glitch to me.
The undercut's dropped back. P8. What happened?
I'm not sure.
Oh, and DTN and Bodhard have had an accident.
DTN, oh, the two Toro Rossos have come together. And Alp has a 3-second time penalty. Now that could play right into Mitch's hands if he can get clear of the Alfa Romeo of Arbar. The undercut
no
has
damage on either Toro Rosso as well.
That's good.
Oh, yeah, no, there's no damage.
That's
might
good.
have been an end plate off.
Big Slater's managed to get back ahead of the undercut, so I wonder if he was involved in that tangle as well with those two guys, especially now that Wingett is also in this battle for P5. In fact, he must have been.
Did pick up a penalty, so
he must have been, because Big Slater's now 6 seconds clear.
Yeah.
Of the undercut, so we'll see. Perry picks up another one in. How he's not been disqualified yet, I'll never know.
I will have a look at his penalties.
Jumping back, Mitch looking into turn 1. Around the outside of the Alpha, but Arbar defends well, and that puts Juventus right on the back of him.
He's on 29 seconds of penalties.
So one more penalty for Perry and he'll be gone. He is currently holding a new COS record. The previous record was 27 seconds of penalties, held by, I believe, a Tier 3 driver from Season 2, which was Levitating Liam. Mitch.
Perry has been on the softs, the mediums, then the hards, then back to mediums, then did 2 laps on inters, a lap on the wets, 3 on the hards, then 4 on the mediums again. And I believe this will be his 5th on the mediums. So.
But, Lil Sid 94 cheering on Slater. Nice to have you with us. And I'm sure Slater can do a job. I can't work out if he's closing in on Alp or not. But
he's certainly opening a gap to the undercut and Wingett.
He has. And the Ferraris are playing this tactically, I feel, because Juventus right now is net P1 unless he has a penalty.
Which he does not.
Mitch needs to get clear of the Alpha. That much we know already. That's certain. He needs to get clear, and by a couple of seconds. Unless Arbar picks up another penalty. Which... no, that changes things. Juventus picks up 3 seconds.
So now Juventus needs to get clear of Arbar.
There's all 3 of the guys behind need to clear the Alpha. Mitch needs to be 2 seconds clear, so he's now the one who's lost out. Arbar is the big gainer from that, because he now has track position with 6 laps remaining.
And I believe if Mitch and Juventus have some sort of communication, Juventus is going to be telling Mitch to get out of the way.
We've got big wing damage on the undercuts. Williams, big wing damage. I think he got into an altercation with one of the Toro Rossos again, but that's his race ruined, and he's retired on track, and that's going to be a 5-second grid penalty for him at the next race at Monza.
You really are tired, aren't you? 5-second grid penalty.
Did I say 5-second grid? Oh, 5-place grid penalty. Yes, I am tired.
It's alright, Dan.
And Perry's retired.
Perry's finally got in the pits.
He has the COS record for most penalties at 29.
32 seconds, I believe. Yeah.
32? In that case, he's been disqualified. Surely. It's 30 seconds, I think, is the limit.
Let me count. So he got a penalty on the first lap, a penalty on the second, a penalty on the third, so that's 9. Penalty 12, 15, 18. 5 seconds for speeding.
The speeding one won't have been applied until the end, so we can take that off.
A penalty and 2 warnings, and 2 penalties and 2 warnings. So I believe, yeah, 28, 29 seconds of penalty.
Fair enough. And then you could add the 5 seconds on because he wouldn't have come back in again if he wasn't going to retire. So 33 or 34 seconds. Mitch has got through. He's passed Arbar.
And now just need to open up that gap.
This is where we'll see what Mitch is made of. We know how quick he is, we know how consistent he is, but Albar's going for the KV round the outside. Mitch holds it, squeezes him, a little bit of a bump, but that's all fair. And holds first position, but leaves the inside open and then leaves the space.
Mitch just showing Albar his side pod at the minute.
But Albar's now going to have the inside. Mitch with poor defence, and that's going to allow Juventus through to have a look at him as well.
Maybe some tactics from the Ferrari boys.
Maybe, yeah.
Juventus now with DRS. Albar has nothing.
And Juventus will take the lead.
Albar with no ARS left. So.
But Alp's having a look at Mitch. Mitch will have the inside still, but can he hold it? I don't think he can. I think Alp's going to have third place here, and I don't think there's much Mitch can do about it. Indeed, there isn't.
Mitch is just sitting in 0 ARS, not using any of his batteries. So.
Neither's Juventus. Oh, the Juventus just turned it off for the straight, and so has Mitch.
Yeah.
Mitch with similar level.
Recharge. He's only on 12%.
Yeah, Mitch and Alp on a similar level of ERS. Mitch using the DRS to charge his, however.
Very smart from Mitch.
Certainly is. Just going to jump back to Bodhod as they his battle with Wingit as they come onto the straight. He will have DRS. He's very close behind. Should be a simple move for the Toro Rosso man.
Oh.
Indeed it is. What's happened?
Matty is right.
What's that?
Perry got 2 lots of 10-second penalties somewhere in that.
I'll check after the race because it'll be there somewhere.
Yeah.
Juventus crucially has held Arbar behind down the main back straight, and I think if he can get clear through sector 1, that'll be it. Arbar is going to have his mirrors full of the Mercedes of Alp, and that will be his main concern. Mitch, 8 seconds now for Mitch. That's really not like him. He's feeling the pressure. And Juventus has had a shocker as well in that corner. He's run wide, run deep, and that's allowed Arbar right back into the gearbox of the Ferrari. And I'm not sure how this is going to go. I think Juventus could drop a position to Arbar and maybe Alp as well. And it was 3 wide going into the chicane. Someone's not coming out of that okay. And it's Alp who picks up another 3 seconds. So now 6 seconds for Alp, 8 seconds for Mitch, and 3 apiece for Arbar and Juventus. And Juventus looks like he's going for it into turn 10. He is. Takes around the inside and then holds it into turn 11. Great work from Juventus. Retakes the lead of the race.
And he is the net leader.
He is.
Penalties are in his favour.
They are right now. All he needs to do is keep Arbar behind him. The other two, it doesn't matter, really, as long as he stays in touching distance. But I love that. It's been such a long time. Mitch starting to drop off a little bit from the back of these guys. Could really do with putting some pressure on Alp just to help out Juventus. And I'm sure he's going to try and do that.
Has Claudio won a race?
He hasn't, no. I wasn't gonna mention that. But regardless of who wins this, as long as it's not Mitch out of these 4, it will be the fourth winner. It will be a first-time winner, and that is the 4th time we've had such a thing this week. All 4 races have had first-time winners.
Yeah.
Arbar looking down the outside of Juventus into the chicane and takes first position back.
Great racing.
It's brilliant, isn't
Absolutely
it? I feel really bad
racing
for the rest of the field, but there's not really anything going on. I mean, there's DK closing in on the back of Baker, but that's about it apart from the rest of these guys. And Alp's gone very wide. He's gone very wide, and Mitch retakes P3, and now he can hold up that Mercedes. But he's left the door open again on the inside. He could have just chopped back across and cut that Merc off. He would have been perfectly legal.
A bit of pressure.
It was always the one thing. I mean, he's held it around the outside there brilliantly, and he should keep P3. And he's got DRS to defend as well down the straight. But it's the one thing I always used to say to him when we were teammates, like, Mitch's outright pace is fantastic. He's got good one lap pace. If you put him in clean air, you're not going to catch him. But when he gets into little battles like this, he's not, because he's too nice. He doesn't have that stick your elbows out, get involved.
He doesn't have the Schumacher defence.
No, he's very much like people thought Vettel was when he was winning all his titles. Like, you put him out front, he'll win. But what's he like in one-on-one battles and wheel-to-wheel racing? Obviously, Vettel has since proven that he is more than capable.
Yeah.
Mitch has proven that he can race with people wheel-to-wheel. I don't want to do him a disservice. But there's times like that where he's too respectful of his competitors. And if he was a little bit more
Schumacher-esque,
yeah, then
I believe we've got 3 retirements. I don't know what Fenrique.
Yeah, Fenrique's out of this, I feel.
So,
Alp looking around the outside of turn 11, but Mitch holds the inside line and should squeeze, but Alp's gone right round him. Fair play to Alp, got a much better drive. Mitch will look for the switchback and to get the traction out of the corner and maybe have a sling down the inside, or is he going to wait and get him into turn 1 on DRS?
Crucially, 1 to go when Alba crosses the line.
Here we go, the final lap of the race. I'm going to jump across these two. This is all that matters. The 2 behind cannot win this race unless these 2 crash out. Juventus looks like he's struggling a little bit. He's dropping back from Arba, who's pushing hard. And you just check that.
Arba will have all the ARS in the world to defend.
You say that, they've both got similar levels. This is Juventus's one chance.
Arba straight into hot lap.
Barring a mistake from Arba, this is it. He's not close enough, not quite. Alp defends deep to stop Mitch taking the move down the outside. Can Juventus find a way through? Can Mitch find a way past who we think is going to be his main championship rival? And can Arba hold on and claim his first contest of speed victory?
It's looking likely, coming around these last few turns.
We're close. This could come down to penalties. I don't know if Arba's got a 6th seconds worth, but we'll find out as they come towards the line. Arba 1-2-3 craft will take the win on track, and Juventus will stay in 2nd place. Alp and Mitch keep 3rd and 4th. Big Slater crosses in P5. Bodhod will come around for P6, which I believe is his best finish in the league to date. Wing It and DTN 7th and 8th. But Bodhod drops behind them both on penalties, and behind Baker and DK. Wow, that is a lot of penalties for Bodhod in that race. And he would have dropped behind Raidcon as well if Raidcon hadn't sped in the pit lane. So Bodhod, from finishing P6, should have dropped realistically to P11.
That is
some next level penalty gathering, that's what that is.
And I believe we're going to have to wait the whole 2 minutes out because of Fenrique being glitched.
Probably, yeah. But you know what that means we can do?
Plug?
Well, we can plug or we can add. I'll tell you what, we'll plug and add. So, Grugrux King is the final runner across the line. Never mind. We don't get a chance to plug or to add. Never mind, I'll fit them in later, don't worry. So there we have it. Congratulations to Arbar on his first Contest of Speed win. We'll get him, Juventus and Alp into the chat for some interviews after the race itself has finished, after we've been through all of these proceedings. And if you've got any questions for those guys, get them in the chat for us now.
Harry the Dog, a new Contest of Speed record. 48 seconds of penalties.
48 seconds.
48 seconds. He had 9 separate penalties.
That's not going to be beaten.
No.
Definitely not.
No.
Also, everybody, if you have your vote for driver of the day, put that in the chat for us, and we'll award that once we get back to the lobby. So I'm going to set up an ad. We're going to go for 60 seconds this time, just because I want to make sure that I can get everybody in without breaking the stream. So I will be back soon. See you in a minute.
So who do we need?
Top 3. So yeah, just go for the top 3. Arbar, Juventus, and
no, not Mitch.
Arbar, Juventus, and Alp. And I'm going to run for a piss.
Right.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. Just me at the minute. So.
Just I'm here still.
He's back.
I'm back. Comfort
Shame.
break was required, everybody. I'm sorry.
I was going to start swearing and saying naughty words.
Don't you take my job away from me. Stuff.
Just waiting on Alf if he chooses to join.
Okay, so while we're waiting on Alp, let's do them plugs I talked about. So there's 14 of you in. Thank you all for joining us for the race. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves, and I hope we'll see you again next time. We will be racing again with this same team of drivers next week. So that's 9 PM Eastern on Thursday, or if you're in the EU, like myself and Blades are, that's 2 AM in the UK, or 3 AM Central European. But you're more than welcome to join us for those. If you want to join us for some other streams that we'll have running throughout the week, we have our 3 European tiers. They race on Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. That's at 10 PM UTC, so that's in the UK. So that's 11 PM in Central Europe and 5 PM Eastern. We would more than happily have you along for that. Arbar Matrix. Arbar won the race. Couple of other things. If you are a streamer based in North America preferably, but it's not essential, and you are able to stream this race like I have done today, and you are happy to commit to that every week, we want to hear from you. you can head over to our Twitter page, which is at cos_f1, or to our website, it's www.contestofspeed.com, and we want to hear from you about joining our team. We also want to hear from you if you are a whiz with Photoshop or with video editing as well. So if you are interested in helping us out in any of those fields, get in touch. My colleague is very kindly putting those links you need in the chat now. I think that's all the plugging I need to do. The other one is that's it. If you're interested in racing for Contest of Speed, we're always looking for drivers. From anywhere in the world, you are more than welcome. All you need is a strong internet connection and the ability to drive in a way that would be deemed legal on the road. Believe it or not, that's harder to find than you think. But if you are more than capable of doing that and you want to race with us for fun or to be a little bit more serious, you are more than welcome. Again, head over to the website contestofspeed.com and register your interest, and one of our admin team will be in touch with you forthwith. So, with all of the nonsense out of the way, let's get on with some interviews. Let's start with P3. So that's Alp.
Hello.
Hello. Congratulations on P3 first of all. After
Thanks.
an interesting race from you guys up front, all four of you put up a really good show actually. We basically forgot about everyone else after lap 20 and just focused on you four. So do you just want to talk us through your race? How was it for you? Did you feel like you could have a chance at winning it until you got your 6th warning and therefore your 2nd penalty?
I think the pace just wasn't there. Like, once they started battling, I was able to get close, but on raw pace, I think I was just a bit too far back to contend for the win. Yeah, a bit disappointed by today, but I'll be back stronger.
I'm sure you will be. So P3 is not a bad damage limitation race, I don't think. So 15 points towards your title. That's still pretty good.
Yeah, definitely not bad. Could have been worse, but yeah, especially that 6th warning, like you said. Like, I thought I lost the podium when I got that warning, but my engineer didn't tell me that Mitch had a penalty for pit lane speeding, so yeah.
Fair enough.
I got P3 after that.
That's fair enough, but like I said, congratulations on P3. Hopefully we'll see you again next week.
Thank you, and congrats to P1 and P2.
Moving on to 2nd. Juventus. Close again, Claudio. Close again.
Yeah. Oh man, my heart's been racing that whole race. It was, congratulations to Arbar and Alp, as well as Mitch. Man, I don't know. Just happy and disappointed. I mean, all these podiums and stuff are really new to me and stuff. The pace has picked up, so I'm happy for that. But you know, to be so close and to have the lead for a little bit of the race and to knock him out with the victory is disappointing. But it was entertaining for sure.
It definitely was, especially that last period of the race. And Ricky, if you've only just joined us, then you need to watch this back when it goes live later on YouTube. It's definitely one to watch. Ricky saying you're his hero, by the way, Claudio. So.
Thanks, Ricky. You're the best.
Yeah. So, when you were behind Arbar, were you keeping track of the penalties behind you? For obviously you will have heard about Mitch's ones, but for Alp in particular, just so that you knew whether you could or couldn't push and take the risk with Arbar, or was it just a case of I'm going for first and sod whatever else happens?
I was very aware of the penalty situation. Actually, I knew that Arbar. I mean, before I picked up 3 seconds, I knew that Arbar had one for sure. And then I checked Alp, and he had 3 seconds when I knew, and I was on 2 warnings. So I was just really trying to be disciplined and be careful of my track limits. And turn 1, turn 2, those turns for me have been terrible. I mean, in terms of trying to keep it clean, it's just so difficult to be quick and keep it on the road there. So I picked up those 3 seconds, and as soon as I knew I picked up those 3 seconds, then I said, okay, let's go all out. So I tried to time it to the last lap, try and get by Arbar, but on the last lap entry to turn 1 and 2, I lost it a bit, and unfortunately, I was too far back to make a move.
Yeah, as I thought, we were on board watching all the way with all 4 of you, and it was definitely a brilliant show, as I've said already. But we were kind of hoping you'd get a move done on the last lap just for the drama.
Yeah.
And a very good advertisement for the American tier, if I may say.
Definitely, both races have so far. They've been great.
That's great,
Been
guys.
great to watch. But, congratulations on 2nd place, mate. Hopefully, top step soon.
Thank you. Congrats to Arbar and Alp as well, and Mitch. Thank you.
All right, P1, Arbar. Take it away.
I don't think I've ever been a part of a race that crazy. It felt from lap 1 that I was like in some sort of thing that I had to battle or pay attention to.
Yeah, so you started on the soft tyre as well, didn't you?
Not medium.
Oh, you mediums. Oh yeah, it was DK and Fenrique up front. Yeah, they were on this. Yeah, never mind. So, at what point did you think I might actually win this?
Honestly, I thought I was getting like 3rd place when I crossed the line at the end. The last time I checked penalties, I thought I was the only one to have one, and L. So I came across the line thinking it was nice to finish 1st on track, but I'd at least get a podium. So it was pretty cool to see my name not drop down 2 places.
Yeah, definitely. It's I'd say 1st win as well. So you've completed the quadruple for us. We've had 4 races this week and 4 new winners. So it's a fair achievement. Hopefully it will carry on next week.
Yeah, I hope I can, continue it and maybe bring some of this pace to tier 2 as well.
Oh well, not too much of it now. Steady on. Just keep it for the Americas. Yeah, use tier 2 as like your trial session. Try your weird strategies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's huge to be able to have one whole race before another. You get so much more practice on the track.
No, definitely. Like I said, I mean, a lot of us don't get the chance to do a full race distance before we actually get out there, so having a whole other session is definitely going to be a big benefit, but still, you've got to beat those guys in front that you put in front of you, and you definitely pulled that off today.
Yeah, it was a great race by Juventus. Like, he kept me. I honestly thought he was going to run away for a bit when he got ahead of me, so it was just absolutely great race from those guys.
Yeah. But so congrats on your 1st win. You've also been voted driver of the day as well by the guys in the chat, so
Awesome.
Clean sweep for you. Hopefully we'll see you again soon, next week preferably.
Yeah, thank you.
Alright. So all that remains to be said is thank you all for joining me for some interviews. Thank you, Blaze, for joining me in commentary.
Anytime.
And thank you all at home for joining us this evening. We hope you've enjoyed yourselves. As I've said already, come back and join us anytime. We stream Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 5 PM Eastern or 10 PM UK time, and on Thursdays at 9 PM Eastern, so that's 2 AM on Friday morning in the UK. We will be here every week, barring 1 or 2 over Christmas, where we all take a break and go and stuff ourselves with turkey and other festive stereotypes. But like I say, we'll hopefully see you again next week. Thank you all very much for watching. Good night.